Hi there, I'm Heather Tang and I'm your media coordinator for this year. And here are 5 tips to really nail your roleplay. First and foremost, have a great introduction. So these first few moments with your judge are crucial to establishing the tone for the rest of your roleplay. I like to have a prepared introduction. Maybe this isn't your style, but give it a go and maybe it'll work out for you. In my introduction, I like to address who I am as well as who the judge is. So I like to say my position, my name, and also restate their position as well. In addition, I like to establish the situation by presenting the problem and then a little about how I'm going to solve that problem. So this is all within less than a minute. And this is going to give you a lot of confidence going into your role play, especially because you know already that the first few seconds are going to be effortless for you. The second part is to have real life examples. This really adds a lot of substance to your role play instead of simply throwing out terms and very superficial solutions. So what I like to do is I like to make a table. So across the top, so the columns are the different price ranges. So it ranges from cheap to luxury goods. And then the rows also target the different demographics. So all the way ranging from infancy to adulthood and elderly people as well. For example, in the medium price range for adolescent teens, I would say that would probably be around H&M and Zara. So I would put those in, and that would be something that I could pull from and draw from if my role play was targeting that demographic. The third tip is to have really seamless transitions. So it's always really important to have a good PI, but it's also really difficult to transition between them. So I like to use key phrases or key terms, and that really gives your role play the fluency that leads to an 100. The fourth tip is to go for quality over quantity. I think that a lot of competitors, myself included, forget that the judges are people too, and that they can't necessarily take in a wall of information that they're being inundated with. So make sure that you select only the most salient points and then try and emphasize those, especially in terms of the role play and the scenario. So for example, if you're trying to implement a new promotional plan, don't throw out every single term of the promotional mix, define them, and then go into gory detail for each of them. Put them out there, but also make sure that you tie it back to the role play. Again, tying in examples, tying in possible solutions, and then re-emphasizing your point over and over again. Sometimes, especially after a long day, the judge might hear it, but not necessarily pick up on the fact that you addressed the certain PI. So make sure you do repeat it at least a couple of times, and make sure that you're focusing on quality of your information rather than the quantity. The fifth tip is to study smarter, not harder. So when you're practicing for your MC, you will most likely run into terms that you don't necessarily know. And you might think that those terms are only useful for your multiple choice exam, but they're really useful as well for your role play. Anything that's very quick, catchy, and very easy to remember is always a great resource to have during role plays. So if you're studying for your multiple choice, make sure that you're noting what might be useful for your role play as well. And now, after all of that information, hopefully your role play will be awesome, and I'll see you at Provincials and also at the international competitions. Make sure that you practice a lot. Don't be shy to ask for help. If your advisor or your friends or your parents are willing to help, ask them. If they're not, and if they're busy, that's okay too. You can film yourself with your camera or with your phone or with your laptop, and then look over it again to see what mannerisms you have, and then maybe analyze whether those are good or bad. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to DECA Ontario. You can email info@deca.ca. Also, we'll be having a Google Hangout closer to Provincials to help you prepare and give you some more advice. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if it does, and best of luck.